Hi, welcome to Over the Side. I'm Sean O'Neill. We've got a little bit of a different video for you this week. We're going to be talking to one of my friends, one of the guys who has journeyed with me through this period of the last 18 months, and is one of the co-founders of Over the Side. And we're going to have a bit of a chat to him, continuing on the theme of, so what does it feel to come under the calling of God? So let's go over the side. Okay, so let me introduce you to my friend Danny. We've been friends for quite a number of years. Danny and I, as well as David, have come together in a trio, and we basically form what is Over the Side. Something that has come out of prayer, something that we've worked together in, just coming together in fellowship to just see where this all leads. So let me start off and say, Danny, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm 72 years old, so I had a lot of time on the earth. I came to the Lord when I was 23 years old, and so I've been walking with Him ever since. I'm married, had kids, all that sort of thing, but my life has taken many turns. I've had many parts of my career, and I'm now semi-retired, sort of in pro tennis, teaching kids, and some working with a few pros. So, but my walk with the Lord is probably stronger than ever. Thank God for that.
Yeah. In that separate video, we'll get to speak to David Cornell as well. I think what you'll find is between the three of us, we're really quite radically different people, which I think is a wonderful thing.
It is.
Okay, so the three of us started off as friends already. We're in the same church. We're already from time to time hanging out together anyway. But why don't you tell me briefly for you, how has all this progressed to where we are today? And how do you think by us coming together in something like this, our friendship has changed?
Well, I think it progressed by, firstly, you sought the Lord yourself in prayer, and we sort of were seeking the Lord both in our own ways, David and myself, and we got together with Sean's invitation to as a little prayer group and a prayer team, and after seeking the Lord, we felt that it should go a little bit further because God's worked with us. He's spoken to us in a few different ways, in fact, which is quite exciting, really. And we'll see where it all leads, but and so it progressed to the point where we're over the side and out of the boat.
All right, so we've all been seeking the presence of God together.
We have.
We've been getting together every 2 or 3 weeks, and we've been taking intentionally about an hour and unintentionally about an hour and a half to 2 hours each time. And the agenda that we've had there has been very much not coming together with our needs, not coming together with the things that we're going to petition God for, but we spent a lot of time just seeking God, seeking His presence. And that's really been the only agenda in our meetings. So how do you think, or let me ask another way, what sort of impact has it had on you for us seeking God that way?
Well, I think it changes. It's changed me in quite a few ways. We're seeking God with the three of us, and even in our quiet times together, there seems to be a real presence of the Lord that's even stronger sometimes than just when you're seeking Him yourself. Maybe sometimes not, but that's the sense you get, or I get initially. And then I felt a real unity as we prayed together, that He was trying to show us things. And sometimes He'd show us things individually, not just together. And then sometimes He'd show us together. And you'd mention things, and I'm sure you'll mention things, and you have mentioned a few things on the videos, and there's a few to come, in fact. But how we've all taken the step over the side and made that trip together.
Yeah, I found it quite different, I think, when I've been seeking God on my own and trying to come into his presence, and that's been awesome, that's been fantastic. But I found it has been very different when three of us have been together in one place and have been seeking his presence. Have you found the same?
Yes, that's right. That's exactly right. When the three of us are together, and I guess the Word of God says, where two or three are gathered in my name, there I'm with you. It doesn't mean that he's not with us personally, but it just seems to be even a little stronger sometimes when he really is. He is with us when we're together, the three of us, and praying, and even seeking him, and even being still. He seems to speak quite clearly, so I find that.
Yeah, I mean, I would suggest to anyone listening that that would be a great move for you too. That it's necessary and so important to be seeking God on your own, in your own terms, in your own intimacy. But I think seeking God with others, and just two or three, it doesn't need to be a crowd. No. Getting that time where it's a shared intimacy between you and God, I think has had a huge impact upon us and has then fed back into our personal seeking. So that's something I would greatly recommend.
Yeah, I agree very much.
So this all had to start somewhere. So what was it that you first noted, I guess, that was indicating that we were starting to actually journey together rather than just meeting for coffee?
Well, I guess it was a sense, in some ways, just a sense that even though we met together, there was some connection that seemed to go deeper. And I don't know what it was. It wasn't just a friendship connection. I run groups of men and the like that we have friendships. But this was something a little deeper. And it was a sense that God really had pulled us together. And I think you actually felt that as well. And so that's where we are. And we just feel he's taking us on a journey.
Yeah, I talked about some of that in last week's video. So if you guys haven't seen that, then if you go back and look at that, that'll give you some of the background to this. So why did you decide then that this was important to you too?
Well, I think the Lord actually made it known. That was in a private time even, that the Lord had made it known to me that we'll have more for you and you should be being part of something different, and I'm going to be doing something different. And so I just took the Lord at his word, and here we are. We're journeying together, and we'll see where we go.
Yeah, I actually find it amusing that the three of us are journeying together in some ways. You sort of hinted it before, but we are so different in the way we do life that I don't know how it ever could have come together if it wasn't God. I mean, your experiences have been very, you have a very intimate relationship with God, don't you?
I do, yes.
And it almost sounds at times like your relationship is virtually conversational.
It nearly is. And I used to think as Christians, everyone had that, until I started talking to many Christians. And it turned out that many people don't have that, appear to have that same relationship. Doesn't mean God is less with them than he is with me, but that is the way that he does work with me in a very personal way. And my journey, even during the day, is that I have nearly a conversational situation with him, and I really do hear his voice, and I've had to reconfirm it that it is him. That it's not other voices, and I keep having to do that, but he is speaking to me and things do come to pass. And so and I've had a lot of, you would call, unnatural, supernatural experiences. I used to think that they were something all Christians had, but it appears that my journey is just a little bit different.
Yeah, I would say so. I would. I must admit, my journey has been different because I'm a little more interpretive, I guess, in that I too hear from God, and I know I hear from God, but then I have to interpret it and what does that mean in a real life situation rather than getting it directly.
Yeah.
I tend to hear in lots of different ways, and so that sometimes makes it difficult because I have to learn to identify each one of those, and I think this journey of seeking God has been a lot about getting familiar with His voice, so that I can discern it out of the crowd of all of the other thoughts that are in my head. And our friend David, he's different again. He's very much a man of the word.
Absolutely.
He's probably a little shyer than us, because I don't think anyone would accuse us of being that shy. But he's a student of the word. He's been the one who has often confirmed things that we've felt, things that we've heard, and he's often confirmed where the word has backed that up, or at times where he wasn't sure that it was. And so the three of us together have been quite a mix. And I sometimes feel like Danny's at one end and David's at the other, and I'm in the middle.
That's it.
And so they're both squeezing me. I've got to satisfy both of them. Okay, so that all being said, this has been an interesting journey, and it's still going on.
It is.
So what is there one thing in particular that made you decide that we were going to go somewhere with this? You've talked generally about how we were drawn together, but was there any particular event or any particular instance where you said, God's in this, I really need to commit to it?
Well, I think, look, initially I did feel that I should do it. And I did get a word from God that I should do it. That's the first thing. But there was something that Sean did, and that was he shared with me just by text something that happened to him, and that was that it was a mind vision, or I can't remember what you actually had, but it was talking about Peter getting out of the boat and walking towards Jesus. And the Lord had spoken to me straight away before that, and my private time, which my private time, by the way, is walking around a tennis court, and he had spoken to me and talked to me about that, and said he'll confirm that we should be together. And sure enough, there was Sean having and he talked about Peter going towards him, as he said, but not in detail, but Sean actually shared it, and I found that, and it just absolutely confirmed to me that we should be journeying together. And it spoke to me what he said, and I'm sure Sean will share more about that a little bit later. But it really did speak to me, and even today it does. And of course, over the side, that's where we're at.
And has your personal relationship with God changed through this?
Oh, I think it has. I think most definitely my personal relationship is certainly more deeper, and more, in a way, more just trying to understand other unbelievers in a lot of ways too, because I'd see what's going on, but I'd also feel it and sense it, and I'd hear a word from God, but mainly hearing was my big thing. But I think that, it's just hard to put your finger on it, but I think that personally, my relationship with the Lord has gone deeper.
Yeah, I've got to confirm that too, because I mean, two things. I guess number one is I really felt the Lord was speaking to me and saying that He was going to touch both you and David as we joined together, as we journeyed together. And so I'm always got an eye open for that and say, how is God speaking to you? Yeah. Because it seems to be a very interrelated journey. It's like we started on a racetrack, and you know how when they start on a running track, all of the lanes are staggered,
right?
But as they run and they go around the curves, it all comes together until when they hit the finish line, they're all aligned. unless of course you're losing, in which case you're at the back. But that's how it's felt. It's felt like we started this in very different positions, not better or worse, not more advanced or less advanced, just different positions. And as we've been journeying together, it feels like we've been coming around the curves, and we just seem to be getting more and more aligned and closer together.
I think that's true. Absolutely.
So you talk about what you were feeling during this, which is good, because as I've been going through these videos, I've been sharing a lot of my personal journey. I've sometimes been uncomfortable with that because I really, and I hope people see the honesty in this, I really don't want it to be about me. It's just that my journey, I think, has been so intense for me that I feel there's got to be stuff in it that can help other people.
Yeah.
So as far as all of this personal journey and sharing all those on the videos, I mean, do you think that was appropriate? Do you think that's what we should be doing?
I think in part. I think the videos and your sharing personal things is excellent, and I know Sean will want to share more stuff to come, and it really is exciting and quite good. But I think that the personal things have given an insight, and given us an insight, not only into you but into I mean, I really do think about the things that he shared because they are quite engaging. But I think we need to share other stuff. We realise we have a lot of experience between the three of us, and we come to God in a different way, and it's really quite wonderful to be together, that we can share different things together and share them actually with you out there, and it'd be fantastic to see where we go with this.
Well, with all of us in our mid-60s and later,
yes.
I guess putting stuff up on YouTube and whatnot has been a bit of a step up for us.
And later.
Yeah. But I think you're right. We have a sense of the fact that there is so many things we've been through in our lives.
Yeah.
Some of it not so good, which has tested our faith and at times proved it. That there is an eagerness to get that out so other people can see it.
Yeah.
I also think, and maybe this helps those of you that are sometimes trying to reach out to other people and talk to them about Jesus. If we were to come on this channel and just talk about scripture, that could open up a whole lot of scriptural debate, because there's a lot of different theology out there, there's a lot of different doctrines out there, and then you have to defend your doctrine, and you should defend your doctrine, but that would take up a lot of space. Whereas I think as we share our personal testimonies and what Jesus has done, it's not so much a debate. It's either it gets accepted or it doesn't get accepted.
I think sometimes we do have to work out our salvation with fear and trembling, as well as just the word and how we believe the word and how it works out in our lives.
Oh yeah, I agree, because the thing about this walk is it works. It's not a theory. It's not just principles that we need to learn. It is real. The power of God, the presence of God, the nearness of God is real. And that's what we're trying to communicate, isn't it?
It is. That's exactly right. In all sorts of ways.
So the big question, what do you want to see come of this? We've got a YouTube channel at the moment, called Over the Side. Yeah. I don't think any of us think that this is the end game. This is just a step along the way that God, and to be fair, he pushed us towards it. he suggested so kindly yet strongly that we should.
Well,
so what do you see coming of it, though? Because the YouTube channel isn't the end of it.
No, it's not. So I think the YouTube channel is a step over the side for us, because we felt to do that. And there'll be a lot shared on the YouTube channel, but you'll see us sharing our personal stories, and you'll see us sharing from the Word and about the Word and how it works out in our lives. Sometimes well, sometimes not. But again, I see it going even further, that the Lord has made it known that we may get to meet some of you personally at some point in time and be involved in a ministry to you, or to us, if for that matter, and that would be exciting.
Yeah, very good. And I also suspect, I can't put it any stronger than that because it's only a suspicion at the moment, but I suspect that God's purpose in this is to open up opportunities that we haven't seen yet. I find one of the peculiar or particular things about a journey like this, where you believe there's a call of God on your life,
Yes.
is that when you first start out, you think God is going to come with the big heavenly announcement and tell you where it's all going to be in 20 years' time. Assuming any of us have 20 years. But it's not like that. It really is, experientially, it really is that God has told us what to do next and nothing more.
That's true. That's true.
And that takes faith, because you've got to believe that with all the desires and the hopes that you have, that once you've done what God is telling you to do now, that he's going to tell you something else to do after that. And I do believe that. I really do believe it. It does seem to be a fairly typical way that God walks. I mean, he said to Abraham, get up and leave the land you're living in and go to the land I will show you.
Yes, he did.
It would have been nice if he'd given Abraham a map. It would have been nice if he told him what was going to happen and all the destiny of the patriarchs and what that was going to go to. But God didn't share any of that with him. He simply said, do this one thing. Get up and go. Now that's very much the spirit of Over the Side.
Yes.
What is God saying right now? And are we going to be obedient to it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I hope you guys listening to this have caught that, because that is very easy to say, but I think there's a real truth there, that walking with God is a journey, not a destination. And I know that sounds very Buddhist, but nevertheless, it is a walk with Jesus, which means Jesus is going somewhere, and we don't always know where that is. The disciples certainly didn't know where they were going, because at any time Jesus could take a right-hand turn and end up in Samaria.
Yes, he could.
So walking with Jesus is really about it. So I guess last chance, the wish list question. What actually do you think God is saying to you personally at the moment?
Well, I think he's saying that just keep going, just keep on seeking me, just keep on sharing with people. I tend to do a lot of evangelism, personal evangelism, just not through purpose, but through, if you like, just contacts with people that I get in, that come in contact with me daily. So I think he's just saying, keep going, keep doing. You're in sort of a training situation. At 72, I don't feel like I'm in training, but yes, I am. I feel like I'm in training.
Yeah, I'm going to emphasise that too, because I'm just about to turn 65. So I've had to sit down with God and say, look, how many years do I have? Which he hasn't told me, which might be a good thing.
It probably is.
But I feel very much like Danny was saying, this journey over the last, what is now over 16 months, nearly 17, has very much felt like a progressive training course. And I don't say that lightly. I could almost have sat down each week or each month, depending on how long each was going for, and written down what I felt God was leading me through that week or that month. And then I'd take a deep breath again, going, oh, gee, I'm so thankful that's over anyway. Right, next lesson.
Yes.
And why does he do that? He does that to purify us, I believe. We sometimes get all caught up on those times when we think God is going to take something from us. It might be whatever. It could be our time. It could be something that we've grown very fond of, and God says, I want you to give that to me. And we go, well, I don't really want to. But I've learnt that God doesn't ask us to give him things so that he can take them away so much.
No.
God asks us to give us things so that he can purify them. And then he gives it back to us holy and sanctified and purified. And then it really does become a blessing to us. And I think that's been part of the process as well. I haven't spoken to that so much.
No.
But I really do. We've gone from lesson to lesson, and it's an act, I believe, of purification. And why does God purify us? Because he wants to work through us.
That's right. Getting us ready for the kingdom to come as well as now.
That's right. We have righteousness that has been accredited to us through faith.
That's true. Yeah.
But God also wants to purify us so that his power can work in us without hindrance. Yeah. Because impurities in a metal, in a conductor, restrict the power that can flow through that metal. And so he has to purify us so that his power can work through us more fully. And so he has a great agenda in mind. So I guess take that as an encouragement. If you're going through some tough purification at the moment, well, God's got a reason for it. It's because he's purifying you, because he's got something really special that he wants to do through you.
And just know there's always an end game to refinement.
That's right. The thing about going through things for 38 days is that you get to 40 and you give up. And then on day 41, everything happens. After 40 years, it happens. After 14 months, it happens. After 40 days, it happens. And you might be on day 40 right now. Well, let's look forward to day 41. I don't know why I got onto that. So look, Danny, thank you. I appreciate you being brave and getting in front of the camera for me. I hope you guys appreciate seeing Danny as well. We'll see if we can get David on here as well. He's probably studying the Word of God somewhere though, so we'll have to break him out of that to get a little bit more extroverted. But I tease him a little bit, but I do that face to face, so that's all right.
And I'll share more stuff later on down the track as well.
Yeah, so we've come into this with a very clear list of subjects we wanted to talk about, and we're getting towards the end of that. So I'm sure God is going to give us other subjects, and I'm sure it will be more sharing what is personal, what God is doing with us personally, not just what he's doing with us conceptually.
I agree.
Yeah, I've got some good personal testimonies coming up too, and some of them are quite exciting. So thank you for listening, and welcome to Over the Side. Thank you. So thank you for listening today. I really appreciate it. I'd like to remind you, of course, that you can subscribe to this channel, and you can also add comments and click the like button if you feel so inclined. So again, thank you for your time, and I hope that we're blessing you, and we'll talk next time.